let's get to it. All right, welcome back to the Mental Wealth Champs podcast. My name is Ice. We are on episode 4. We got a few guests with me, like Gregg, JJ on a football team, and we're just gonna kind of introduce ourselves real quick. Say our positions here at Mount, what sports we play, and what things we're involved with. So some of you may know, I played football here for 3 years. Now I'm on the track team. I'm a senior, and my major is sports business, and I minor in psychology. What about you, Gregg?
Everything. So my name is Michael Gregg. I am an alum from the University of Mount Union. I serve right now as an admissions counselor, as well as the assistant men's basketball coach here at the University of Mount Union, student advisor, kind of everything in between. And I own and run Living Truth Clothing.
We repping it right now.
Yes,
Built in the dark.
Appreciate you guys.
For sure. Had to.
Josh Jones, senior this year, play football, position corner. My major is exercise science, and my minor is coaching.
Destiny Roberts, senior here, played basketball for 3 years on the track team. Major in neuroscience, minor in philosophy and peace building and social justice.
All right, so yeah, personally, I want to touch on some important topics regarding both of you. So we're gonna kind of go back and forth. But since we already mentioned, your clothing brand, a lot of people, see you on campus, see these hoodies, and a lot of people necessarily don't know about it, but they love your work. So I just want you to kind of talk about the process and starting up. You briefly mentioned it to me earlier, but just the process and starting up your clothing brand and what is Living Truth.
So it would have started during quarantine. The world had just kind of shut down. So I remember quarantine it's gonna be weird. It was special for me just because it was like quiet time. So it really gave me a time to kind of recenter. Knowing me, especially on campus, I'm doing a lot. Not that that's a bother, but it's just a lot. So being able to pause and kind of rejuvenate myself, it was a good time for that. But I remember at the beginning of shutdown, I was just in my office getting ready for Bible study with my friends, and I just remember praying God, I don't know what this is. I don't know what we're going through. Everybody's at home, just kind of trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
But I told him, listen, I don't want to leave this experience empty-handed. On the other side of this quarantine, this pandemic, whatever we're in, I want to have something tangible. And that's kind of where it grew. Looking at Luke 8:17, which is built in the dark, so that's the foundation of everything. So Living Truth is a way for me to expose people to the gospel as it relates to their lives. Growing up in church, being a pastor's kid, I didn't take responsibility, I guess, for my own growth in my faith. We did things because we were told to. We did things because we had to. It wasn't until high school, college, that I really took my faith in my own hands. Spending time with God, praying, reading the Bible, but then also, even now, still learning how to apply the Word of God to my life as a man, as a brother, as a son, as a friend, as a leader, as a coach. The Bible is applicable to our daily lives. So Living Truth is a way to present the gospel in a way to where people can see themselves functioning in it as a student, as a football player, as a coach, as a CEO, as a dentist. It's a way to just present the Word of God to everybody's individual lives.
Yeah, that's dope. What was I about to say? Yeah, so basically, not like I said, love your work, love the hoodies and all that you do. I know, especially for me, when it comes to Built in the Dark and all these hoodies and stuff like that, I feel as if it's relatable to a lot of people here at Mount, especially athletes. Maybe they're not. A lot of people are not religious, but the messages that they convey really helps. It helps me, especially when I was going through my darkest times here at Mount. Whether that's just my health when I had COVID, and then my struggles with my sport. So, I mean, I appreciate, the gear and all that stuff. And also, I did want to touch on, like, I know a lot of people see you around campus, and, like, you're everywhere. So, like, when it comes to being involved, whether that's with your students, faculty, like, why is this, like, being here for your student athletes, like, so important to you?
Ooh, why here and why is it so important to me? I think it's important to me because it's where I am, right? So if I was anywhere else, like, those students, that campus would be important to me. I believe, and I've tried to get out, believe it or not. I've tried to get out. I've tried to get out, but it's, I don't know. You can't really fight what God has for you. So I still believe that my time here is being spent in on purpose. I had people, Rich Jackson, Gregg King, Anthony Jones, who looked out for me as a student, and they helped me kind of finish college. So right now it's important for me to be Rich, Gregg, Anthony Jones to the students here on campus now. It makes a difference when you see somebody like you, positive influence on campus, which I believe I am.
Most definitely.
So I know it means something to these guys because it meant a lot to me to have those guys to go to and kind of correct me when I was wrong, even to this day. Look out for me, hold me accountable, and then encourage me when I needed it. So it's important for me because I do believe that a lot of it is ministry, and I believe it's on purpose that I'm still here.
Yeah, so JJ, I heard you kind of mention, or not mention, but like when he was talking about being that leader, that support system for a lot of people here, like how has Mike Gregg been a support system to you? Because I know you guys are pretty tight.
Yeah, Mike Gregg, I really thank him a lot. It's my guy right here, for real. Coming in freshman year, we started off, we weren't talking as much as we do now, but like we've been talking about the brand, and he always comes to me with ideas and stuff like that, so he always been there for me, so I just take it as I always got to be there for him. And ever since then, we just been working together and just been leveling up, so.
For sure. Yeah, so knowing that this is, of course, a mental health club, mental health podcast, we're going to touch on some topics, regarding that. So, with that being said, that's my favorite saying. By the way, I say that a lot. But anyways, like, how have you seen, like, your players or just students here in general, like, deal with, like, their mental health, or, like, have you seen them deal with it at all, or, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I don't know if I've seen them necessarily deal with it. There are two situations that come to mind in my 6 years back, to where we had some, I guess, mental health issues. We have the conversations a lot more now. So when I graduated, when I finished Mount, I went on to work for a mental health agency. I'm doing case management. So we had a lot of those conversations, obviously, with like clients, because that's the environment. But that's kind of when the world started to have these conversations more with less bias. So I think we have a lot more conversations. I don't know if we've had a lot of those incidents to where we've had to really address it. Like I said, it's been maybe two in my time back. And we have resources, obviously, here on campus to kind of help with those things. But I always go back to, like, those relationships. It's important for us to have relationships so guys can feel like, all right, Mike G, we need to have a talk. And be open and honest, and then trust us to put them in the faces of the people who they need to kind of connect with to handle those issues.
Do you think that because, like, you mostly are, like, associated with, like, the men on campus, that you don't have, like, as many of those conversations? Because, like, as a girl and who plays sports, was on the girls basketball team, I feel like a lot of times we have a lot of people who need help in one way or another, whether it's from like our coach or like from us as the seniors. Like even now I'm not on the basketball team, I still have like freshmen that come because they're having like a mental health day or like an off day. But do you think it's because like you're pretty much associated like with the men here instead of women?
I think that women are more open having conversations in general. But when we start talking about health and then mental health, I think we're built to hide weaknesses. But then also we aren't great communicators either. So I'm dealing with the weakness. I don't really know how to say it without looking soft. And I don't even know what it is. So I think that does play a role in it. Just like being males and we're supposed to be super tough. What you mean you got anxiety? Depressed about what? You know what I'm saying? Like so there's definitely a stigma even still with just like our gender. So I think that does play a role in it.
Well, like if you were having a bad mental health day, like would you go to my Gregg?
Honestly, and it's crazy because I usually don't go to anybody about, like, if I'm having a bad day, I just take it to the chin and move on to the next. Like, take everything I learned from that day and just use it as motivation the next day and the next time I have a bad mental health day. But most of the time, I usually don't say anything to people. But if it does get to that point, I will talk to Mike Gregg about something if I have to. But most of the time, I just keep quiet. That's just that type of person I am.
For me, I would say there's definitely a stigma with men and mental health. You know, we're, especially black men, I feel like we're taught like growing up and stuff like that, like you don't speak about it. Right. You just kind of have a face on and grind out whatever you got going on and chin up, move to the next day. But for me, like, I knew I needed help my freshman year of college. Like, I'm the type of person to bottle up my feelings and not really talk about it at all. And, well, for multiple reasons, because I don't want to, I guess, burden my family if I want to talk about it, or burden anyone else who I want to, talk about my issues with. But now, like my freshman year, I mean, I spoke about this before, but I was dealing with a lot. Being away from home, 9.5, 10 hours, and also had a long distance relationship at the time, and just football in general, like that transition for me was hard. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I knew I was going to be fine, but like during that process, it was, like I said, I just didn't know how to deal with all the struggles and the anxieties, because it got to a point where I just had anxiety attacks literally every single day. And I never had that experience until I got to college, and that's why I started going to counseling, and I went like every week, and it's been helping me. So, I mean, that's just my story with the mental health portion of this, but I also do want to kind of pivot real quick and kind of introduce JJ, and have you kind of speak about your experience with things, but I kind of want to start from the beginning. So, like, what made you choose Mount Union?
Everybody always asks me this question. My answer is Mount Union showed me the most love out of any other school through the recruiting process. Coach Ely, he talked to me on a regular basis, and VK at the time, he always gave me a call. So they always showed the most love, more than any other school. And when I got on campus, it was comfortable for me. It wasn't too far from home. It wasn't like too close at all. So I just feel like it was a perfect fit for me.
Perfect, yeah, definitely. Like, and kind of, I'm gonna just say why I chose it, because I felt like we're kind of in a similar situation, both, being on the football team and getting recruited. I chose Mount. It was kind of last minute. I had, some offers by some colleges, but nothing was really set in stone. It was really between this one school, Christopher Newport in Virginia, and then Mount Union. And like I said this earlier, but I chose this school because one, it scared me the most, and I knew I was going to grow as a man, being away from home. I felt like I needed that at the time. But also football-wise, everything just kind of happened, and I wasn't heavily recruited by Mount, but they were showing love, and then I decided to take a visit, and I felt like, okay, this is home. Like,
Right.
I wanted to go to a school where they value, the student-athlete experience,
Right.
and this is definitely a student-athlete school.
Most definitely.
So, and just from talking about our football experience, you played basketball in high school.
Yeah.
You went to St. Vincent St. Mary.
Yeah.
LeBron went there. So I did want to ask you a question, like, how did St. Vincent St. Mary prepare you athletically to come to Mount?
Really, I feel like St. V over prepared me because in high school we did a lot of stuff that we don't even do nearly as much as we do here, as I did at high school. But St. V really put you in that. It gave you that competitiveness because every day in practice, from football to basketball, you competing with the next person because there is anybody's spot for the taking. So every day we in there fighting, working hard with each other, and it just gave me that mindset that I'm the best one on the field or I'm the best one on the court at all times. It doesn't matter who's in front of me or who I'm going up against. It doesn't matter if he got 5-star, he got 20 offers. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I'm me and I'm gonna do what I can to beat the next person in front of me. So
You heard that. JJ himself said he's him. So don't play with that man. Don't play with him. So has that confidence like always been there? Especially being in high school, St. Vincent St. Mary, just being in that atmosphere, or like when did you start playing sports? And like I said, has it always that confidence and just your aura? Has it always been like that?
for the most part, yeah. But like going into high school, it was really low at the time because I was awkward. I wasn't really into my body yet, so I was really like down on myself. I felt like, to me, I was like, I suck, like, and I just feel like just going through high school, it grew as time went on. I got more comfortable in my position and my body, and yeah, that's really what it is.
What made you pick football over basketball? Because I've seen you play basketball.
Yeah, that's a good question. Hey, you not a scrub at basketball. Right? Nice. You could have done either one.
Really, basketball is my first love. Like growing up, because my brother, he played basketball, so I always looked up to him. So he was always in the gym. I'm always in the gym with him. But football was something I did on my own. I used to watch it on TV, and I used to tell my dad, like, Dad, let me play football. And he gave me the opportunity. So when I was playing football, I tried to get my brother to play football too. But but football, I just felt like it was more fun for me. But like you asked me, I just got more recruited playing football. If it was the other way around, I probably would be playing basketball in college right now. But yeah, that's just how it went.
You're just an overall athlete.
I guess you could say that.
So you play the corner position.
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask you, like, who are some athletes in your position that you studied, or do you even study yourself, your film, and stuff like that?
I always study myself. That's like number one. I always study myself because there's always improvements that can be made. But Jalen Ramsey, I look up to him because he's like #1 corner overall. Sauce Gardner, we kind of have like the same body type, so built. I look up to him, but most of the time, I just focus on myself because I know what I can do, and I know what the little things that I have to do to become where I want to get where I want to go. So.
For sure. No, and also like we've been going at it like at practice and stuff like that ever since our freshman year.
Right.
And I would say you, like being a receiver, you were always one of those corners where I was like, okay, I know JJ's gonna give me work.
Yeah.
And I felt like when you were guarding me, it was harder to get open than me running routes against other corners because I don't know. Personally, I like going against like smaller, faster corners. I feel like I can.
You can do a lot with.
I can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're gonna bite on some, and I'll take advantage of that.
Right.
But you're kind of taller, lankier. You like when you're pressing, like you have the arm length and stuff like that. So it's definitely like I appreciated going against you. Like in practice, you always made me better, bro. So let's talk about some music though. Like, what do you listen to get you ready for practice, get you ready for a game?
Number one, my favorite artist is Future for sure. I'll be listening to Future, Drake, Lil Baby, Babyface Ray, another big one for me. And then some like local people I grew up with that are low-key blowing up right now, so I'll be listening to them to get my mind right before a game or practice.
That's what's up.
Do you have a song you have to listen to?
A song I have to listen to? There's a couple songs that I always listen to before a game that put me in the right mood. I'd say, dang, that's a hard question because I do listen to a lot of music before the game. I'll say Akbar by Youngboy, NBA Youngboy. That song it put me in a whole nother.
Nah, NBA Youngboy is definitely like, I need to listen to him before practice, before games. I don't know, especially like right now in track, like that's all I've been listening to, Youngboy, and he just dropped 2. So
Right, that's what I'm saying. I was definitely
I'll
listening
repeat all day.
Oh God, I was listening to him before the game yesterday.
What you looking at, bro?
I'm chilling.
You looking out in space, not even paying attention, bro. We have a whole episode going on.
I'm listening.
All right, what music you listen to, old head?
No. Before game or just in general?
In general, don't matter.
A lot of gospel, some
Okay.
R&B, not too much rap for real. Just because when growing up we weren't allowed to listen to it, so it's like I don't even know half the people you say.
You don't know NBA Youngboy?
No.
You lying?
Okay, so what R&B?
What you mean? How you gonna tell me I'm lying?
You know who NBA Youngboy is?
Listen,
You gotta know. Listen, you been around all these athletes.
Saying.
probably. I don't know. I'll be paying attention for real. I'll be having other things to do.
So what
Pay attention to
R&B?
them.
What R&B?
Eric Bellinger. Y'all probably don't know who that is.
I do.
Kenyon Dixon.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know that
Smaller, they write. Kenyon writes for a lot of people. If there was I don't know if I want to say the rapper that I actually listen to.
Why not? It's a secret.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What?
All right, that's it. Move on.
Like Erykah Badu, you ain't.
No, I'm not a big Erykah Badu person.
Usher.
For real. Oh, Usher, yeah. Classic Usher.
You can sing too, right?
If I have to.
You can sing.
You can sing.
He
Why
be-
don't you give a little
he be
something?
I'm not.
Oh man.
I'm not.
He be singing in the choir.
That's where that come
I'm
from.
a solo act.
Here you go.
All right, what do you listen to, Destiny? When you play basketball, or even now, just whether that's helping you get through a situation or just ease your mind.
Just like working out or something.
I listen to like slow music, or sad music, people call it. I'm not sad, but I just like sad music, like slow music. Or growing up, my parents listened to Tupac and Biggie, so that's on my playlist just because I grew up listening to it, even though it's really not my cup of tea. I don't really listen to rap at all.
Okay.
I know who you guys are talking about, but I wouldn't go out of my way to put on Young Boy ever in my life. It's just not my scene.
It just put you in the zone.
All right. That's just playing football.
Teach his own.
Teach
his own.
Yeah.
But to go back to you, JJ, how we talked about, us both being on a team, the football team to be exact. What's the biggest challenge or biggest struggle you have faced so far, athletically being on the football team?
I feel like me being small, skinny wise.
Okay.
I feel like everybody holds that against me, saying, "Oh, he's not that big. He needs to get bigger." I feel like that's probably the biggest struggle, because everybody told me that. But I make plays, so I know I need to get bigger to get to that next level. But at the same time, I'm doing what I need to.
So would you say those comments and stuff get to you, and do they bother you to a certain point, or?
Nah, I just use it as motivation for real, cause somebody will say that, and then they'll see me play in the game, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, I didn't know you played like that." it comes as a surprise to them. So it's kind of like disguise in a good way for me.
No, I get that for sure. Also, so you talked about your biggest struggle. Kind of let the audience know what is it like, to champion the state and to be a Mount Union football player here, because it's not like a regular, football program.
Yeah, it's tough being you got champion the standard. I mean, just waking up for those 6 a.m.s is tough, but I feel like it taught me that more competitiveness is giving me that, and always work hard, never take anything for granted, always keep your family close. Like your football team is your family, so always look out for them, make sure they're safe, and making sure they're doing the right thing so we can all achieve that one goal that we want to do, which is win a national championship every year. So
how we feel about that this year?
This year, I feel like we can do it.
I know y'all can do it. Y'all looking pretty good out there, for real.
I appreciate that, yeah. We just got to keep grinding every week, take it day by day, week by week, game by game, and just doing what we need to do to accomplish our goal. So, yeah.
So, kind of going off that, just being in that atmosphere, with Mount Union athletics and football, what has been your favorite moment on the field, whether that's in practice, or in a game?
I feel like just being in that moment, for real. Like, you talk about moments, but it's like the overall moment of me being here right now. Like, anytime I hit the field, it's a blessing. All I can do is thank God to do what I love, because I know there's a lot of people who want to be in my position. So, I just never take it for granted, and I use other people's, what should I say? I use their I use them as my motivation. When people say oh, I see you've been balling out, I use that as motivation, because they want to see me win, and I want to see myself win. So I love the support, and I'm trying to give it back to them. So.
Oh, that's great. I mean, yeah, you talk about being in the moment, but you have to have a favorite play that you a pick six or something like that.
Yeah,
there has to be one that sticks out, bro.
That Marietta game last year, when we was at Marietta, second play of the game, they had a pick six and silenced the whole crowd, and it was that was breathtaking, because I'm looking around, it was nobody was in the stands.
Yeah. After
I picked that off, and it was silent, but that was probably one of my favorite memories for sure.
Dogs only. That's a dog right there. That's a dog, man. What do you do for yourself? A lot of your time is spent watching film, at practice, games, with your teammates. But when it's just you and your own thoughts and stuff like that, when you're by yourself, what are some, outlets you go to besides, working out and, sports?
Music, like we touched on. I feel like that's a big one, because I got this playlist where I can just chill out to. I just put that on, watch TV, or just watch film. But I just feel like rest is one important thing that I always is a key part for me, because like you said, we don't get a lot of time to just to ourselves. So I feel like rest is probably the most important one for me, just to get my body back in ready for the next week. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you kind of, I don't know how to word, miss out on the college experience because so much of it is surrounded by your sport?
Yeah, but then at the same time, I feel like it's a good thing, because if I wasn't playing the sport, I'd be doing a lot of other things. So I feel like it's keeping me cool and calm and focused on what I need to do. Yeah.
I kind of want to answer that question too. So I thought playing or not playing football and stuff like that this year would give me more time to do work and stuff like that, and kind of have my time. But I came to realize that when I was actually playing football and I had that strict schedule, I was more productive and I got more stuff done and I felt better. Now it's hard for me to kind of implement that same level of structure by myself, because it's easier like when you're with your teammates and you know you gotta grind out good days, do it with your teammates, lift, film, like you know what's expected of you. But when you're by yourself, it's harder.
Yeah, you gotta hold yourself accountable.
You have to hold yourself more accountable.
I definitely like after quitting the basketball team, I was like, wow, like I'm gonna have so much time to like actually like sit down, do my work, like whatever. Like I have something to do at 11:59 right now that I didn't even start. So it's like I don't have any structure anymore because like, you know, like the basketball coaches would like keep me accountable, like make sure like my grades were good, like my teammates, you know, you have to have a certain like GPA or something like to be on the team. Like now it's just like I just do it like whenever and I push it off. It's, here I am and it's due in 3 hours.
No, I feel that. I have a 15-page paper due. It's not getting done today.
Wait, when is it?
I mean, so it's due at the end of the semester, but we have to have like our draft submitted.
Yeah.
Draft was due Friday. I didn't submit it yet. I did like 4 pages.
Out of 15?
It's a draft. Like I don't have to.
You ain't gotta
of it
have
done.
all. Yeah, you ain't
Trying
gotta
to do it in pieces.
the draft.
You know, slow and steady when the race.
You didn't turn anything in.
No,
Hey.
I didn't turn it in.
What did he just say? Slow and steady was the race.
It's gonna get
Not
done.
if you missed the deadline.
Well, hey, look. She gonna know. They gonna figure it out. The professor gonna...
One thing about being in sports though, like I'm gonna get the stuff done. Like my work ethic translates when it comes to sports, like to academics and just everyday life.
Everyday life, for real.
So that's why, like I didn't turn it in. I can be hard on myself, but like I know I'm gonna get it done. Like I know when it comes down to it, I'm gonna get it done. So I'm not sweating.
Right. I feel that.
I'm not sweating.
Nah, I feel that. I feel that for sure. Because I be the same way. Definitely feel that.
So, JJ, game day rituals. You got any?
The night before, before I go to sleep, I take time to meditate. Turn on like a meditation and just sit there, being in the moment and just relax. Focus on my breathing and, you know, just get ready get that mindset, get that game day mindset. Game day, like on game day, Saturdays, I'll wake up, we go to breakfast, and then I'll go back to my room. I always take a shower before the game, always. Just, I don't know.
Feel fresh and clean.
Yeah. And then if I'm feeling like jittery or whatever, a lot of thoughts in my mind, I'll sit there, do a little 10-minute meditation session before I walk to the locker room and get ready for the game. So,
have you always like meditated, or is that something like recent you just picked up?
I picked that up like 2 years ago during COVID.
Is there any particular reason why?
I just had a lot of thoughts in my head going into the game, so it was like I was in the game thinking about other things. So I feel like I took that time before the game just to meditate, ease my mind, you know, help me get more focused and ready for the game.
It's interesting that you say that, because just from my perspective and like how I see you, like, you know, at practice and games and stuff like that, you always like play with a smile on your face. You always laugh and you always playing carefree.
Yeah.
And that's what I always like admired about you when you're playing the game.
Gotcha.
So it's like you saying, you know, oh, I meditate, I have all these thoughts. Like from the outside looking in, I wouldn't think of that at all.
Yeah.
Because how you present yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Always gotta enjoy the game though. Like even if bad things are going on, you just gotta be happy, because at the end of the day, you playing the sport that you love. That's how I take it as. So never taking it for granted.
Did you have any game day rituals? Like Gregg?
No.
No?
No. I just hate, like, especially now, I have to be busy, like the day, like the earlier in the day. So we play at 7. I need to be doing something. I can't just like sit. I know some coaches like to just blank out and not do anything. Don't be bothered, like get ready for the game. But I need to be moving. If not, then I just get like anxious and just started thinking too much. But then the closer the game gets, then I want to shut everything off and, all right, let me just make sure my guys are right. Make sure everybody's kind of set with what they need and they're ready to go. But But yeah, earlier in the day, I'm busier. Then we get closer to the game, I kind of just shut out the world and get ready for the game.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, when it comes, on game day, like, I need to be doing something before the game. Because I'm just sitting down, on my phone. That's when my anxiety, gets high. So I need to be doing something to keep my mind off of some, stuff.
That's why I be meditating.
And meditation really helps. See, like, during COVID, I really started, like, meditating, and especially when I was dealing with my health issues when I had COVID and I couldn't, work out and stuff for like 6 months.
Right.
My football season was cut short.
Right.
I had to find a new routine, and I got into, reading books. I read a book every month, and then I, meditated as well. And then this one book I read, it was called Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty, and he talked about like how he starts his mornings, and it's this acronym, TIME, which it stands for thankfulness, intention, meditation, and exercise, and that's how you should start your mornings. And I started doing that, just trying it out, and I noticed that I have better days when I have that routine. Just thankful that I woke up, set my intention for the day, whether that's, be productive or don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I have intention, like I am focused on this thing just for today, and then tomorrow might be something else. Meditation, like you said, just help calm my anxiety, and just focus on things at hand. And then exercise, like I have to exercise in the morning. Like, whether that's just my daily walks before I start my day, just to wake up, get myself together, or whether that's pumping hard, getting in the gym. That's just how I do things.
I don't think ever in my life have I been like, let me wake up and work out before the day starts.
For real?
It's just, I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why my days feel the way that they feel, because I cannot get up, like, to save my life. Like, seriously, it's a problem. Like, I like to work out and stuff, but I also feel like I've lost the love for working out now that, like, I don't play a sport. Like, it's like, what am I working out for, really? Like, I don't have, like, a goal in mind. Like, you have a goal, obviously.
Right.
Like, you have a goal, like...
Yeah.
I don't really have goals. Like, what do I need to work out for? So it's like a mental thing, I guess. I don't know.
No, I see where you're coming from. I'd definitely be the same way. If I wasn't playing a sport, I'd be like chilling.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I empathize with you on that. Like, when I didn't quit football, but just like not playing this year. It hasn't been as structured as I said. So like sometimes like I won't have the motivation to work out and stuff like that. So that's why I'm kind of doing track too. Keep me busy, keep me active. But if I wasn't playing the sport, I probably wouldn't have that same level of motivation. But at the same time, like, I kind of think about if I don't want to work out or something like that, I think about like, okay, I love the feeling after I work out. Like, I love that feeling. So I feel like I'm always kind of chasing that feeling. So I always want to feel good, so I'm going to work out. And just, caring about my body, caring about what I eat and stuff like that. That just, for health reasons.
Right. Just later on in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me is like, when I don't want to work out, it's like, I don't know if you two knew this, but I tore my Achilles. So, and then never played basketball again. So, like, I'm like, when I was hurt, like, I always thought about the times, like, I'd be able to run again or, like, lift my legs again or, like, stuff like that. So sometimes I'm like, a year ago, like, you were wishing and hoping for this. So, like, now it's in your face, like, go do it. And then, like, the after of working out is always worth it. Getting there is the hard part, though. That's the hard part.
I mean, I feel like half the battle is just showing up. Once you're there, like, grind it out, get it out the way.
Yeah, for sure. I got a question, though. So, like, I just want to know the process when you got injured and like how that worked and how you took it mentally.
So freshman year, I came here for track. It's actually what I'm here for, is to do track. But I had offers from other schools for basketball, and I was actually committed to a completely different school. And then I came here literally like, I want to say like 6 days before school year started. I'm committed to another place. But the track coach, his name's Fred, he's a sweet man. He was so adamant. He was like, just come. He was like, what's the harm in coming and see? I'm like, okay, like, I'm like, whatever. You know, I couldn't drive at the time. My dad had to drive me up here. I'm like, okay, whatever. I come up here, I'm like, I didn't even meet with the basketball girls because I'm here for track. So I met with the track girls. And then, like, I just, like, everybody was so nice. Like, I'm like, okay. And, like, it just, like, as you guys were saying, like, it just instantly felt like, okay, like, I kind of think I belong here. And I felt bad for the other coach because I already did say I was going to go. But I had to revoke that. So,
It's business.
and then I came here, like, I came 6 days before school started, did my orientation literally, like, 3 days before. It was just, like, me and, like, 3 other people because we were so late. And then just started, like, the school year. And then, but freshman year, I didn't really care about basketball. Like, I didn't come in prepared at all. I, like, at my high school, like, I was, like, it. Like, so I was like, oh, I'm going to be fine. Like, I'm like, can't be that, you know? It's not going to be that bad. Then I got here and I'm like, wow, this is definitely something.
It's a full-time job.
And,
For real.
you know,
For real.
the women's basketball team runs a lot. I was not ready or in shape for any of that. I'm like, wow, you know. So whatever. I didn't really care. I had, like, Bree, Haley. I had a lot of people in front of me, moral of the story. And I'm like, I didn't really care. Like, my coach was always on my case. Everybody said she was on my case because she saw my potential. And the moment as an 18-year-old who, like, had just came from a school where, like, I was the best player, I'm like, why does this lady not like me? Like, you know. And then I went for my, like, end of season meeting. I don't know if you guys do that, but at the end of the season we meet with our coaches. And my coach said something that I would never forget. She said, by the time you come back, I'm going to know if you're going to warm my bench or be on the court. And I was like, I'm like, why did you say all that to me? So I went home, and all I did was work out, seriously. I'm like, wow, because I'm like, you're not about to say that. I'm not about to come back and warm the bench. I worked out. I was, like, in the best shape of my life. Like, my mile went from, like, a 7:41 to, like, a 7:07 or something. Like, my bench press went up, like, I was benching more than anybody on the team. Like, and then I was in practice, and the back of, like, my heel, like, started to hurt, but it, like, didn't hurt. I thought my shoe was rubbing off the back of my foot. And Coach Johnson was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm good. I don't know. And I'd already ran, like, 3, we call them sprints now, 3 sprints, and then
We call them sprints.
y'all know what I mean. And then we were running a zip sprint, which is literally like a 5-second sprint, like just up the court once. And I went to take off. It sounded literally like something exploded. I thought, like, the bubble, you know, the bubble in basketball shoes, like they burst.
Yeah.
I thought it bursted. And then I was standing in the middle of the court, and, like, people were looking at me and laughing. And I was like, somebody thought, like, my shoes needed tied. Like, so everybody was like, why is she just in the middle of the court? And I was like, that was weird. And then I went to take a step, and I was like, ooh.
Couldn't even stop.
And then this girl on my team was like, why are you standing in the middle of the court? Like, move. I'm like, does it look like I can move? Like, so then I just walked off the court, and then I got some crutches, whatever, and then I went to the ER, and they were like, I got a call from Dr. McKean, and he was like, it is, like, completely torn in half. And I've never really been injured. Like, I just, like, sprained my neck, sprained my ankle here and there, but, and I didn't even, like, when Kelly told me, like, I think it's your Achilles, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I'm like, what? Like, so then, yeah. And, like, I knew, like, Kobe Bryant had tore his and stuff, but, like, I'm not Kobe Bryant, so I'm like, am I gonna, like, come back from this? And, like, girls don't even really tear their Achilles that much. It's usually men, and, like, older men at that. So Dr. McKean, he got me in for my surgery, like, 3 days after I tore my Achilles. I got my surgery, I'm in a cast, whatever. And then I got my cast off, and, like, my foot, it was, like, mentally, like, I'm like, I know I'm not coming back for the season, but I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. At first, I'm like, I'm gonna be fine, you know? Like, I cried when I got the phone call, because I'm like, I just put in all that work, and now what? And, like, even my coaches felt bad for me, because they watched me in open gym, and everybody was like, you're a completely different player than you were last year. And I'm like, I know that's right. And then I tore my Achilles. So 3 days into practice at that. And then, so it was, like, hard at first. Like, I was like, this sucks. But I'm like, you have 2 more years, Destiny. You're gonna be all right. Like, and then the COVID year would have really gave me 3 more years. Like, I'm like, oh, you're gonna be all right. Like, 1 year, you're gonna come back. You're gonna bounce back. You're gonna be fine. And then I got a blood clot, like, from my ankle all the way to my hip. And then I was in the ICU for, like, a week or something on Christmas at that, and I was so ghetto.
That was from your Achilles?
Yeah, because my body was so used to me being so active, and then I was like, I couldn't move my leg at all. So, and then, like, a part of it broke off and shot to my lung, and once it shot to my lung, I was like, I'm good on sports, because I was like, like, I was like, if I tear it again, then, like, the same thing's gonna happen, probably. Because, like, I found out later that, like, I have, like, some blood clotting problems that I would have never knew if I didn't tear my Achilles. And then that was, like, I think the hardest part of it all. Like, once I got the blood clot, like, I knew pretty much, like, I'm like, it's over now. Like, and I got the blood clot, I think, like, 2 months after I tore my Achilles. So I knew, like, it's probably over now. Like, and, like, watching my family, because, like, when I went to the ER for my blood clot, they were like, if you would have waited like 2 more days, you probably wouldn't have been here. And I was like, wow. And like my family was crying and stuff. Like, so it's just like at that point it was like, you know, basketball's not worth it, but like it's still sad. And like I live with the basketball girls, so it's just like a sad thing. Like obviously I wish I could have played. Like I wish I could play this year. Like, but it's just not. Just doesn't line up anymore. And like at first mentally that was really hard for me because I've been doing this since I was like, I don't know, 12 maybe. Like. And this is like my first love. Right. And then I just got to a point where I just had to like accept it because there's nothing I can do about it. Like it's not like my fault my Achilles tore. Like, you know, like it's meant to happen, I guess. I don't know, that's what people tell me, like what's meant to happen will happen. I haven't found the reason yet why it happened, but I'm sure it'll come around someday.
I mean, I'm sure you've had like, you got something to say, Margaret?
It's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, you would have never known you needed to get your blood clot situation. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
so sometimes it's like, as frustrating as it can be, like sometimes rejections, like setbacks, are really protection, not punishment. So, not to preach. Like the Bible talks about like, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. So as frustrating as it was to tear the Achilles, it's like, all right, could this have saved my life for real? If not in that year, like down the line, because now you know what to look out for. So we don't always have to have a reason. We don't always have to know the answers. It's just like, all right, God, like, what is this? And I'm gonna trust you regardless. Because if your plan is to prosper and purpose me, like, all right, like it's all good then. Because even though I don't understand it, I know it's gonna work out because you got me.
Patience.
Yeah. So since you shared your story, like I wasn't planning on sharing my whole situation, but since you did it, I'm gonna do it because it kind of goes along the same lines of you. So basically, you know, played football here for 3 years, like I said, and then had COVID October 25th, 2021. That's when I got it.
That's very specific.
Yeah, it was hard.
It was one of them days.
Yeah. So yeah, I got COVID. That Thursday practice, you know, I walked through.
I remember this too.
Felt horrible. Yeah. But I thought it was like the flu or had allergies or something like that. Friday felt even worse. I'm like, maybe I just need to rest, get ready for the game. Saturday on the bus, I woke up and I felt like a train hit me. I was not having it. And I think we played Heidelberg because that was my last game. And I didn't feel like warming up. I didn't even feel like moving. And then Sunday, same thing. I was like, okay, I probably should get checked out. And then on Monday, got, you know, tested when we were doing the testing in the field house, negative. And then, no, it wasn't negative yet, actually. I tested, and then I felt worse, so I went to the health center to get tested again and checked out. And then I got a call saying, oh, you actually do have COVID. I was like, wow. So then after that, ever since that day, my life, I felt like, has changed. And then, so yeah, like I said, I couldn't work out for almost 6 months.
Can I interrupt? What about COVID made you not be able to work out now?
Yeah, so basically, I was still having symptoms, like walking and running. I was having a hard time breathing and stuff like that. I was getting chest pains. I just felt tired like all the time. And then, so I kept on going back and forth to the doctors. They really didn't know like why. And then they checked out my heart and they thought I had this condition called pericarditis. But then I went to go see a sports cardiologist in the Cleveland Clinic, and they said, nah, you don't have that. You have another heart condition. 'Cause I had to do all this testing. I was there all day, blood work and all that stuff. And then they called me. They were like, "You actually have a heart condition, not caused by COVID. Apparently, I had it my whole life, but if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have known I had this heart condition." So it's called bicuspid aortic valve. So like, your valve is shaped like a Mercedes symbol. It has like 3 leaflets. Mine only has 2. So like when I work out and stuff like that, it's harder for me.
To get the blood pumping.
Yeah, breathe heavier and stuff like that. And I mean, I wouldn't have known at all if I didn't have, if it wasn't for COVID. I mean, COVID in itself was a bad experience, but it was a blessing in disguise. So now I recognize I have this issue. Now I know what to do, moving forward. I have to get checked every year and stuff like that, and kind of like watch what I eat and stuff. So yeah, it was hard for me, but I've learned a lot out of this situation, and I was probably at one of my lowest points. Like, I was very depressed because I couldn't work out with the team. I was thinking I was gonna die every day. Like dealing with your heart, you never know. So it was definitely a scary period for me. But once I kind of accepted, like, it is what it is. I can't control this. So what can I do about it? It's a livable condition. Like, I'm not gonna die, but I just controlled what I can. That's when I started, I was reading the Bible more, reading more books, trying to do new things to get my mind off of what was, causing me anxiety and stuff like that. And then football-wise, like, it wasn't going the best for me because I dealt with injury and stuff like that. I always was in and out. I was on scout team, then I was working with the 1s and 2s, purple and white, and then I kept on going back and forth. I wasn't really consistent. But I felt like I was doing what I can, and I was showing out to the best I can. But it just, I felt like I wasn't getting the playing time and stuff that I wanted. I felt like I deserved. So, I mean, it is what it is, and I definitely accepted that. But now, with everything that's happened, and dealing with injuries and now this, I felt like I had to take a little step back, kind of reevaluate my life and where I want to go. So that's why I'm not playing football this semester. My plan is, to graduate here, and then still got years of eligibility left, so use that somewhere else, thinking about going to grad school for possibly sports psychology. But yet again, I'm not exactly sure on what I want to do, and I'm learning, I can't control everything, I can't have everything planned out. So just taking it one day at a time that's what's helping me.
For real.
So, yeah, that's my story.
Going back to patience.
Patience, yeah. I haven't told a lot of people in detail, like, the situation, but Destiny inspired me to, talk about it. I feel like people should talk about their situations because you never know who you could help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, the experiences that you have is a gift. And if you don't, like, unwrap that gift, like, people are not going to be able to value that. They're not going to understand it. You know what I'm saying? So being able to speak your truth, live your truth, is a huge deal and could inspire many people, and that's why we're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a good one. I caught what you did.
Yeah, like that. I know you like that. But speaking about, like, I'm saying, like, plans after graduation and stuff like that. All 3 of us are seniors. So what are y'all plans?
Hopefully move up to the next level, but if not, either be because my major is exercise science, so either be a strength and conditioning coach at a college or high school, or just being a regular football coach or basketball coach. Okay. I can do either one. So
yeah.
I don't know. I either might just get a job straight out of college because my degree is neuroscience, or I might go to grad school and then do something like in the medical field.
Okay. What's the next 5 years, 10 years look like for Mike Gregg?
I don't know. The plan, like what's
what's your plan? What you got?
The plan would be to keep growing, living truth. It's been good to me. I did not exactly know what this would be. I still don't know what it's becoming, but it's growing. Conversations. People are having conversations. People are reaching out. So I'm looking just to max out, really, like with whatever. I just want to max out, be everything God created me to be, using the gifts and abilities and everything that He's given me. Continue to coach basketball. That will be 1B of my priorities. Continue to coach basketball because I believe it still allows me to impact lives. I think my calling is coaching. My purpose is to help people be who they're created to be, using their gifts and abilities, and putting them in consistent situations to where they can be their best selves. So that's definitely a pleasure to do. So I don't know what 5 years, 10 years looks like. I just want to be in the right place at the right time.
That's a good answer. I like that.
That was inspirational.
That was.
Appreciate you guys.
Give me the chill. But real talk though, you know that mint green hoodie that you have, dogs only? I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna have to cop that.
I kind of want to buy one too, honestly. So
I'm gonna need a few actually.
I got them in the car. They always with me.
All right.
The book bag, briefcase.
That's what's up. We'll talk later after.
We'll talk.
But you know, I just want to thank you guys, you know, for having you on this podcast and wanting to be on here. We're just gonna, you know, inspire people to talk about their truth and kind of help people with their mental health struggles or any struggles that they're dealing with. And I keep on saying this, but that's the reason why we're here. And I feel like having that why helps people, you know, live their life to the fullest. Impacting others is meaningful. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you guys for being on here. One last question we like to ask our guests is like, in general advice or whatever, but what advice can you give student athletes here on campus or anywhere?
I'd just say believe in yourself, put the work in, put the time in. For real, just don't stop, because there's gonna be days where it's hard, but at the end of the day, if you want what you want, you're gonna get it. So, yeah.
What about you, Dancy?
Oh, I gotta do it too.
Everybody got to do that. Even myself.
Advice, I would say, you know, embrace the negative things that happen to you. You know, embrace the unpredictable things that are gonna happen to you, because everything happens for a reason. It will all work out exactly how it's supposed to be eventually.
Sure. Mike Gregg?
Advice. You said student athletes
and entrepreneurs too.
Okay, kind of what we started with. Never leave any situation, good or bad, empty-handed. There is always something that can help you grow from every experience. So just take what you can use and then throw everything else away. Don't just go through a moment and experience just to go through it, or else you're gonna repeat it. Take something from it. Like even if it's a challenging, a terrible situation, there is something within that situation that can help you grow, help you get a little stronger, help you get a little bit tougher. So take it with you, but then also understand that we don't have the experiences in life just for us. So don't be selfish with your experience. Your testimony, your story of your trials and tribulations, we go through that to help somebody coming down or coming behind us. So juniors, seniors, you see these freshmen walking on campus. The struggle that a lot of students have being at Mount Union, especially early, is waiting for that time. Like, it's going to come. Like, you're going to have that opportunity. It may come first in practice, right? It may come in the game. Prepare now, right? Like, we that's the dark, right? We got to prepare where we are, because that opportunity will come. So the times that you alone in the gym getting shots up, the times you run around campus trying to get your conditioning right, when you alone in a weight room lifting, like, maximize that time, because your moment's going to come. It's going to be up to you whether or not you're ready for it. Take care of it, because that second chance may not be there. So just prepare now. Just because you're waiting, that doesn't mean that you can't be working.
What's that?
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just one more thing. Just be patient with life and never take it for granted.
No, that's a good one too. Some advice I would give. I would say, of course, have a vision of what you want to do in life. Have a vision of how, successful you want to be on the court, on the field, or whatever. But don't be so hard on yourself if you don't reach those goals, that it tears you down. And I like to say, like, embrace the suck. Like, embrace the hard days. Because ultimately, those hard days, you're going to build in the dark is going to make you a better person. All the experiences that you experience here in college or in life in general is going to make you the person who you are. And take one day at a time. For me, it's hard to say that because I tend to think about the future a lot. And I get a lot of anxiety just thinking about the future because I really don't know what I want to do. And I feel like I have to have everything mapped out and planned out. But no, live today. Be present today. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I'm just thankful that I'm here today. I can impact people's lives and just speak my truth. And I feel like if I do that, eventually, it's what I'm here for is going to happen. And just stressing about it and worrying about it is not doing anything for me and my mental health. So, that's my advice and what I got to give. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in this episode. Thank you guys for being on. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then also make sure you like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel at Mental Wealth Champs on IG, and follow my guy, Mike Gregg, on the gram. You want to kind of shout out that and everything else? Be
like Mike on IG, Living Truth Clothing on IG, and then livingtruthclothing.com to shop the apparel.
You, JJ? They just said don't follow him. Don't follow him.
Oh wait. I'm thinking. My Instagram is JJ___3.
Why so many underscores?
Look.
Is there a reason behind it?
3.
Okay.
That's why.
Why 3?
That's just my favorite number.
Okay. But you wear 13.
Yeah, but it actually came from my basketball number is 3, and my baseball number was 1.
Oh, so you just
combined them. That's made my football number.
Everything has meaning behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Justin? You want to shout out your gram?
No.
Follow Justin, you probably
follow me on the TikTok, Cheddar Huncho 13.
Follow me on IG at IC3_the With that being said, everyone, thank you so much, and stay tuned for more mental wealth stories, and let's get it.
That's a wrap.
JJ_____. Was JJ_3 taken?
Yeah, it was. Cause I was definitely. It was. I really wanted mine just to be JJ, but I'm not like
JJ.
That. I'm not like that to be. You gotta.
That is what's up.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, my guy.
That was long, it feels like.
It was. Just
how long was that?
Your paper about to be due.
I ain't gonna do this shit tonight, though.
I was talking to you. I'm talking to Destiny. Destiny, what high school did you go to?
I'm from Pennsylvania. I went to a school called Darien Open Catholic.
Okay. I know Montour, North Allegheny, only because basketball.
Yeah.
How long was that?
Maybe an hour.
Maybe. Okay, that's perfect.
Like 6 hours. My chicken code?
That was black as hell.
For real? Is my chicken code? Really?